Okay, let's have a discussion of the SBA's first draw PPP 2483 loan application form. Uh, just for disclosure purposes, I'm not an attorney, not a licensed attorney. This is not legal advice. I'm also not your financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. This is for information purposes only. Consult with an attorney or your CPA for professional advice. So this is the of the SBA's first version of the SBA 2483 PPP loan application form, which the SBA created and published back in April of 2020. You can see here in the upper right the OMB control number 3245-0407. The expiration date is listed as September 30th, 2020. However, the SBA did publish additional variations of this form during 2020 and prior to September. But this is the original in blank. Uh, we take a look at the format here. Um, See here that the business legal name is asked for, as well as checking off the type of company that it is. The business address, it asks for the doing business as or trade name, business tax ID number, which is usually the FEIN number of the company, business phone number, primary contact, email address. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. It starts out. Then goes on to ask for the average monthly payroll, multiplying that number times 2.5, adding any EIDL or economic injury disaster loan that you may have, net of any advance. So you simply get the loan number here, your first draw SBA PPP loan amount goes here, and this box states number of employees. Doesn't state anything else and doesn't state anything specifically as to how you calculate the number of employees. Uh, on here it asks for the purpose of the loan. Pretty straightforward. You check off what your intentions are for uses of the money in the future. And I will stress intentions because you can't forecast the future when you are completing the form. Down here it asks for the applicant ownership. What I want to refer to is the SBA published in conjunction with this first draw PPP SBA 2483 application form, a guide as to how to fill this form out. And this guide was provided to lenders across the country, banks and other PPP lenders. Take a look at this guide. Here is the guide that the SBA published and provided with instructions. It starts out with a note that says to expedite processing of your application, please do not leave any fields blank. If any are not applicable to you, please put an A for not applicable. Number one, box one says must check one. You will be required to submit a new application if left blank. So simply, we are going to instruct you to check off the box that matches with the type of company that you have. Number two, populate or indicate not applicable. Franchisees, please indicate franchise name here. So in box number two, where it says DBA or trade name, it tells you to indicate the name. Very simple. Instruction number three, populate with the legal name of the applicant as indicated on articles of incorporation or similar organization documents. Sole proprietorships and independent contractor, use personal legal name. It asks for your legal name here. Number three. And number four, provide the physical address, no P.O. boxes, of the applicant's primary place of business. Simple. Insert your business address on number four. Number five must be the tax ID number of the applicant. Please double check for typographical errors as they will delay process of the application. So you put your business tax ID number, which is the EIN. If not, if you're operating as a sole proprietorship, place your social security number. That's box number 5. Continuing down, input the best phone number to use to discuss your application. Very simple. Put your business phone number here, area code, phone number, child's play. Number 7, name of the individual to contact to discuss your application. You place the name of your primary contact in box 7. Number 8, please input carefully. The loan documents will be sent to the email address for execution. You place your email address here in the box. It says they will be sent to this address for execution. Execution meaning the electronic signature of the authorized individual applying on behalf of the company. Box number 9, input the eligible payroll costs that are the basis for your loan amounts. It doesn't state here which year the applicant is supposed to use. Doesn't say which calendar year. It doesn't say they're supposed to use a trailing 12 months of the date of application, trailing 12 months of the average payroll for the business or applicant. It doesn't indicate anywhere in the box average monthly payroll to check a year to indicate which year you're using, or if you're using the trailing 12 months. And nowhere here does it state that the applicant is to apply with its then average monthly payroll or the monthly payroll that it has on the date it fills this 2483 application out. Simply states average monthly payroll. Leaves it a little to mystery or guessing, but there are some instructions that the SBA did supply in the actual 2483 form that clarify this box and state that most borrowers who apply for a first draw PPP loan in 2020 will use their average monthly payroll for calendar year 2019. So even though it's left a mystery here, it does indicate in the instructions you're supposed to use calendar year 2019 to complete your average monthly payroll. And you can see here on the actual 2483 application in blank, this is the box average monthly payroll. And we can see here on the instruction form of the 2483 form, instructions for completing this form. It says for purposes of calculating, quote, average monthly payroll, most applicants will use the average monthly payroll for 2019, excluding costs over $100,000 on an annualized basis for each employee. It does clarify that what you're supposed to put in for your average monthly payroll figure. And going back to the instructions, number 10, this will generally be 2.5 times the average monthly payroll. If you have an eligible economic injury disaster loan to be refinanced, that amount would also be included, less than the advance under it. Please round down to the nearest dollar. If you want a smaller loan than permitted based on your average monthly payroll, please attach a memo confirming that this is the case. So here you simply multiply your average monthly payroll figure from box 9 times 2.5 to get your first draw max PPP loan amounts. Number 11 on the SBA instruction guide, must select one. You will be required to submit a new application if left blank. Purpose of the loan, and it asks you to check at least one payroll that you're going to intend to use this for payroll expenses, lease or mortgage interest, utility payments, or other. And it leaves you to explain what else you're going to use it for. But it does indicate here that you can indicate you intend to use the PPP first draw loan funds for other purposes other than payroll, lease payments, mortgage interest, or utilities. What those other ones are, again, it leaves it open, but it does suggest that you may be able to use the funds or have intentions of using them for purposes other than these 3 boxes. What's notable here is instruction 11 instructs the borrower what to place here in the use of the funds, but instruction number 10 talks about how to calculate the max PPP loan amounts. You can see here on the actual 2483 application form, there is nothing in the SBA instruction guide that instructs borrower or applicant what is supposed to go here in this number of employees box, what the calculation is supposed to be, what it is intended to represent or reference. And here it just says number of employees. It leaves this unexplained. It leaves it to guessing. It leads to ambiguity. Ambiguity meaning a borrower or applicant filling out this form at the time is left to guess what number of employees they're supposed to place here. Is it supposed to represent the number they have on the day that they're applying for this loan? Or is it the number of employees they're supposed to place that represents and corresponds with the average monthly payroll figure that they place here in order to calculate this PPP loan amount? It leaves it open to guessing. The SBA's instruction guide does nothing to help the borrower or even assist a bank or other lender in knowing what the borrower is supposed to place there. It just leaves it open to guessing. Thanks, SBA. If we go further down into the instruction guide, passing 11, number 12, if this section is incomplete or filled out incorrectly, you'll be required to submit a new application, and this refers to the applicant ownership box. Again, skipping over the number of employees box or clarifying how that is supposed to be calculated or what is to be listed in it. Here under 12, under 12A, it says, please do not leave this section blank. It will delay processing of your application. And it goes on to state, if there are no 20% plus owners, please input the required information for the authorized representative completing the application. Show his or her ownership percent as 0%. Number 13 starts providing instructions on answering the questions on the 2483 application form. Number 14 on the instruction guide, again, answer all questions. It goes on to instruct and show the questions the borrower is needing to complete for the form. And that is the extent of the SBA guide with instructions to completing the 2483 application form for first draw loans. You can see nowhere here does it explain in any manner whatsoever or reference the number of employees box that is contained here on the 2483 application form. In no version whatsoever, none of the subsequent 9 total versions or variations of this first draw PPP application form, the 2483 form with OMB control number 324504007, does the SBA ever clarify or even reference the number of employees box. But rationale tells you that if you enter your average monthly payroll for a given year, here's for example, 2019, and you calculate the loan amount based on that 2019 average monthly payroll, that it is asking you here for the average number of employees for that period. Most businesses do not have the same exact number of employees each and every month during a calendar year, as they hire and fire throughout the year, and some employees quit or are furloughed. So it is rational and reasonable for a borrower who is reading this form and reads the application instructions where it says that you're supposed to use to calculate your average monthly payroll calendar year 2019, that you would fill in a box here for the average number of employees. The SBA could have simplified this or demystified it by simply putting the word average uh, here or somewhere in the box, or they could have placed a box under the number of employees where it allows you to check off the year you're using, or if you're using the preceding 12 months from the date of application or the then monthly average, that you can indicate that by checking off a box. The SBA created these forms haphazardly and in a rush when the CARES Act was passed and the PPP First Draw program was created. Again, government form done poorly and in a rush, left of ambiguity, and was never clarified in the SBA's instruction guide. Nothing was also provided to clarify the number of employees box or explain it anywhere here in the attached 2483 instructions that were part of the form. Anybody who wants to comment on this or give other opinions on the number of employees box or the SBA guide, if you do have any information or references, any interim final rules that the SBA did publish with this or subsequent to it that I may be unaware of or did not reference, please comment and please give us any information that's not provided here would be helpful. This is a topic for discussion. Thank you very much.